My name is Joseph Farah, and I've got a very brief statement. When the Republicans took over the House of Representatives in last November's election, I immediately began thinking what the new GOP majority could accomplish with control of only half of the Congress. Obviously, passing any meaningful legislation objectionable to the administration or Senate Democrats was out of the question. House Republicans could propose cutting the budget, but could never hope to persuade their counterparts in the Democrat-controlled Senate to go along with them, let alone the man in the White House. They could wrangle with Democrats and take symbolic action to demonstrate to the public there were real differences between the two parties. But at the end of the day, I could think of only two actions House Republicans could take that would allow them to assert themselves and impose their governing philosophy on the Senate and the White House. And those two actions are saying no to any proposed tax increase, because without their assent, there is no chance for Democrats to raise taxes, at least until 2013. The second was saying no to a hike in the debt limit. And in this case, without their assent, there is no chance for Democrats to continue business as usual or even implement programs such as Obamacare. In fact, it would require something Republicans have been calling for decades: dramatic cuts in the budget that would actually require Washington to return to something resembling limited constitutional government. But by January, only days after the Republican majority took over the House, as you've heard, leadership began issuing statements indicating the second of those two actions was off the table. John Boehner stated time and again since then that the debt limit had to be raised, had to be. Now, having spent a significant amount of time looking at the options of the House Republicans, I was initially mystified by Boehner's position, because in effect he was capitulating to business as usual in Washington. And I was naively, I think, sure he just hadn't thought this through properly. Didn't he understand the power he had in his hands? So I organized an innovative grassroots high-tech lobbying effort directed exclusively at House Republicans to persuade them to vote no on raising the debt limit, as so many of them had promised to do while campaigning for the fall election. And that is the No More Red Ink campaign, nomoreredink.com. And to date, it has delivered about 1 million hard copy letters to 241 House Republicans who have all the power they need to say no to more borrowing and spending. Now, I know this campaign has galvanized a lot of support among House Republicans because we've been doing head counts. I'm sure John Boehner's been doing head counts as well, but we've been doing them now for several months to see the changing votes. When we started the campaign in the beginning of February, I could only count about a half dozen House Republicans fully supportive of a no vote on increasing the debt limit beyond $14.3 trillion. Today, the vast majority of those House Republicans do, and we are approaching the necessary 218 votes to stop it cold. That's why I'm here today with my Tea Party friends to remind Republicans of why they were sent to Washington last November and to warn them of the consequences of betraying their promises and their rhetoric to change the direction of Washington governance. If Republicans provide the votes necessary to continue the borrowing and spending madness we've seen over the last several years, they will be telling Americans effectively there is no alternative to the Democratic Party irresponsibility. They will be telling Americans representative government is dead. They will be telling Americans Republicans are all talk and no action. And they will be telling Americans that there is virtually no difference between the two parties, and they will be sealing their own fate in the 2012 elections.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.